Welcome to another edition of Override. We want to thank everyone that called in and sent messages concerning the impact of the video on marriage vision in their lives, that it is apt and timely and their current state of their relationship. But at the same time, we want to apologize for the fluctuation in the quality of the video, though your concern was not about the quality of the video, but about the content and the quality of the content that you received. However, we do know that we can still walk and chew gum at the same time. We're not there yet in terms of the quality of our videos and the production, but we will get there because we are determined and committed to bringing the best and the most effective quality to the life of people that brings transformation in their marriage relationship. So back to today's video. We'll continue with another aspect of the shared marriage vision and some of the potential implications when there is a shared marriage vision. Now, imagine a couple that just sits down every day fantasizing, imagining how they can have a wonderful farm, how the kind of crops they intend to plant, how it's going to look, the design, everything from A to Z. This couple can continue to fantasize every day for the rest of their life and nothing will be achieved. And you will notice that just because they are fantasizing and talking about it, significant differences are easily resolved because the rubber has not met the road. Now, when they acquire the land and begin the actual clearing of the land, cultivation, planting different crops and seeds, now beginning to work together. Now you begin to see the importance of the process, which is working together. Now, the differences, the divergence of opinions, ideas, and everything that they had that was seemed to be seamless at the beginning, working together now becomes difficult. Now, many of you can experience that in your homes, that you're having challenges trying to work together on different things as a couple. Now, the challenge on this is that many people do not understand the process. It is the process we're going to talk about today. The process is how a couple can work together using the principles of marriage for effective coordination and building the relationship that gives you the kind of marriage that you're looking for, that attracts the success that you're looking for in marriage. Now, as we're talking about the process, the very first thing you will notice in trying to work with one another is what I call exposure. The process exposes the weaknesses, the limitations, the inabilities, and vulnerabilities of each person to one another. The couples begin to see the weaknesses of one another. But the challenging part of it is that, which is area that is well misunderstood, is that the couples take advantage of the weaknesses of one another and use it as a weapon of attack during disagreement in order to prove themselves, to make themselves better. The revelation and the exposure of the weakness of your spouse to you is not for you to use as a weapon of attack. Remember that whatever you focus your attention on becomes magnified in your life. When you focus your attention on the weaknesses of your spouse, the vulnerabilities of your spouse, the inadequacies of your spouse, those areas become so magnified in your life. And because they are magnified, that's all you think about every day. It doesn't matter what they do, your mind goes to the areas of their vulnerabilities and their weakness. But this is why I say it's a misunderstanding of what the intent of the revelation and the exposure is meant. See, the process reveals, but with the intention of you seeing the weaknesses and the vulnerabilities of your spouse, is it for you to become a completer of that person, it's for you to complete that person and complement the weaknesses that they have in order to build a relationship that fosters the success that you're desiring for in marriage. I said it is for you to complement and to complete that person. And by so doing, you realize that you begin to get transformed on a daily basis in your own life. The transformation that we look for in our lives begin when we are able to be a completer and a complementer of our spouse, using it as an opportunity to encourage our spouse, to cover our spouse, to protect our spouse, to promote our spouse. As you do that, you begin to realize that your own life is being transformed on daily basis. This transformation comes because you now shift attention from yourself, your dignity, from your own yourself, trying to prove you are better. Remember, each and every one of us have their own weaknesses and limitations. But as you cover the weakness of your spouse and vice versa, both of you have nothing to lose, neither do you lack anything, because wherever you're deficient in, your spouse is sufficient in that area. In doing so, the relationship continues to move flawlessly. Now, when you realize that the intent of the exposure is to complete and complement, to transform you, you become more appreciative. We do not appreciate our spouse because we have no value. When you place a premium on the value of your spouse, you begin to appreciate. It is what you value that appreciates. And then you begin to recognize their strength and now begin to harness more of their strength to align with one another to produce an excellent marriage relationship. And another point I need to clear for you is that your future is not ahead of you. I repeat, it's not ahead of you. But your future is trapped within you. And what you do with today determines what happens tomorrow. So, how do you do that? By picking one aspect of the vulnerability of your spouse, make it your duty to cover that area. Make it your duty to support in that area. Make it your responsibility in your own life to encourage that area, to make sure that no one sees that area. And finally, as you do it on a daily basis, it becomes as free as an air. It's no more something you think about, but automatically you step in doing that area for the protection of the marriage, for your own growth, for your own improvement and transformation, and for the eventual successful outcome of the marriage relationship. Therefore, working together, we have divergent views and opinions, but when we're able to harness individual traits and peculiarities and bring them together to understand that it is not for us to use as a weapon, but for us to defend, to stand in, to promote, to protect, to complete our spouse, we'll begin to see something different in the life of our spouse and in our own life. This is Override, and I will see you next time in our video. I want you to give a thumbs up, like this video, share, and don't forget to hit the notification button so you don't miss any other edition of Override